The Dolphins made a massive mistake giving Tua the contract they just did. That's what we're going to get into in today's show. So leave a comment of your take on the whole situation down below. Stick around for the rest of the video. And while you're down there, like the video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't. We are on the quest to 1,000 subscribers, and we want you to be a part of it. So I'm Devin. The other guy is Zane. We're Buffet Sports. That's all you can eat. Let's get into the video. Okay, I'll meet you in the middle. Franchise tag him.
Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing.
Don't stop jorking it. It's the most important. It's the most important information we can give the people. That is what the story is.
It's the Josh Allen season. It's the Josh Allen defining moment. This is his defining moment, and I think we're going to see something special. That's the end all be all of it right there. I just think we're going to see something very special from him.
With what is he going to do special? He's going to run the ball, pass the ball. Who is he going to pass to?
He's been special. We just haven't talked. Like we get on the turnover thing.
So where is he going? Deep into the playoffs or a Super Bowl?
Deep in the playoffs.
How about this? Let's say this. The reign of terror Josh Allen might do next year, I think will be confirmed if he beats Patrick Mahomes. Knocks him out of contention to get the
takes over Joe Burrow's fucking spot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the division they're in. Everyone is, of course, we're doing this again, which leads me into my next point. But everyone's piping smoke up the Dolphins right now, and I don't get it. Which brings me to my next point of Tua getting a $212.4 million extension. Wild, crazy. He just highway robbery, bro.
Get your bag, brother. Get your bag,
robbery. This is ridiculous. They're gonna go like 8-9 this year at the most. Okay, at the most they're gonna go 8-9. They're gonna be so bad this year in comparison to what they've been, and especially in this division.
Why though? They are keeping all of their guys. Nobody's left the Dolphins.
That's not true.
Tyreek's still there. Jalen Waddle's
on the offense. The defense is, dude. And the other thing is, we know what they are in cold weather. And if the Jets are relevant this year, that's potentially 4 wins or 4 losses against the Jets, and then the Bills in division right there. That's 4 potential losses there.
All it takes is good seeding there, brother, for the playoffs.
But that's the thing. They have to get into the good seeding. They had the opportunity multiple times to get, even last year, they had the opportunity to, they were in control last year, and they had the opportunity to get a home game to start the playoffs, and they choked it away. And we're just going to sit here and pretend like Tua is not the reason. And I think it takes the get out of jail free card for Mike McDaniels, because it was like, okay, Mike McDaniels is really special because he's doing this in spite of the quarterback. But now, because Tua's not getting this contract if Mike McDaniels doesn't endorse him, because ownership has tried multiple times to replace Tua and it hasn't worked out. And so he doesn't just get this contract because he's so good, because clearly he's faltered. Mike McDaniels had to endorse him. So it takes that get out of jail free card for Mike McDaniels and how good of a coach he is to me. Cause it's like, he's now admitted I want Tua. And so it's like, to me, you spend all this money on these weapons, right? And then you're going to put Tua there, and then you're going to keep Tua, and you're going to get the same sort of production. When you look across the conference in the NFC, and you look at the Niners and a similar structure in that they have a bunch of weapons, they have all the running backs they need, they have a decent O-line, they have great receivers. Just go get a young quarterback. Why are we holding on to Tua? Why are we going to pay Tua? And if he's faltering now, when he's got all these weapons, then in 4 years, when these other guys, you can't pay these other guys because Tua's contract is so big now that, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And then you're just left there with your dick in your hand again, without the ability to make any moves.
Well, I think it is the fear that Tyreek is going to be out of the league here pretty shortly. And the fact that if you
Okay,
get a new QB, you would have to develop them. They're not gonna. It's very rare that they come in and they're superstars. So the level that Tua is right now is not attainable for a QB within 1 year or 2
but you don't
years
know
of being
that.
in the league. We
But you don't know
don't know
that.
that. We don't know that. But the Dolphins are not willing to gamble when they're in win now mode with all the pieces that they currently have on their team.
It's not going to
Why
work
would
out.
you gamble? It's like when you have 15 in blackjack. No,
Blackjack. Jorking it.
that's a bad one. When you have 19 in blackjack, why would you gamble? You just hold and then you hope that they don't have an ace and a queen. It's the same sort of mentality. You have the pieces. You have pieces
But
to
I don't think
go
they're competing for
positive,
Super Bowl here. I genuinely don't think that they're competing for Super Bowl. I think they're having
but
any
they
sort of
can't
success.
with the
I think
guys
they're
that
just
they
having
have.
success, and so they're keeping their guys.
Yes,
they're just
but
having success, so they're keeping their guys. They're not trying to win a Super Bowl here.
But with
Tua is
the
not a Super Bowl
guys-
winning
with the
quarterback.
guys that they currently have, they could not go through a rebuild and keep those guys. That's the problem with the Dolphins. Right now, they have all these star guys. They could not go
So
get
then what?
a new QB and
Tyreek retires. So then what? Tyreek retires. Devon Achane gets hurt. Raheem Mostert is too old, so he retires. What? You're left with Tyreek. You're left with Tua and Jalen Waddle.
Let's just say Tyreek gets hurt. Then we can talk about a rebuild. Let's see Tyreek retires. Then we can talk about a rebuild. Right now,
I just can't.
The Dolphins don't have time to get a
answer.
new QB and rebuild with the guys that they have.
Then don't come out and say you're trying to compete. Then don't make it look like you're trying to compete for Super Bowl.
But they are, because they have the guys.
They're not. They're not going to compete for a Super Bowl because of Tua.
But they can't. Okay, so you either compete for a Super Bowl or you don't. Right? They have the guys, except for the QB in your mind, to compete for a Super Bowl.
Why would you extend him? Why would you extend him?
Because you do not have time to develop a QB while Tyreek Hill is still on the roster.
Okay, fine. Don't develop a new quarterback. Why didn't you try and trade for one this offseason? You had options.
That's up to them. I mean, I would have loved a 130 mil Kirk Cousins on that team.
That's what I'm saying. There's
so
many better options than Tua Tagovailoa.
But it's also the scheme. Kyle Shanahan, that sort of scheme that they run. You have a guy who's proven to be able to play in the scheme, and then you have Kirk Cousins.
He fails down the stretch. Last year,
I think it's such a big gamble to change what you already have when you've seen success. Not great success like a Super Bowl, but you've seen success with the guys that.
Okay, so then they're not competing for Super Bowl.
But
because Tua is not the answer.
But they're not rebuilding, so they're not treading water either. They think with the guys that they have that they can go deep in the playoffs and maybe win a Super Bowl.
Then you got. I just don't see it. I don't see how you do it, especially in the division you're in. It's not going to work.
It's either but the only two choices here is rebuild or try and get a Super Bowl with the guys you have. You have the best wide receiver in the league.
I don't think that's the case. I think you could have made a move for a quarterback.
Yes, but Kirk Cousins, right? Is there another example that you'd like to throw besides Kirk Cousins?
I'm trying to think who is in the hot seat. I mean,
because my point is that San Francisco 49ers, they drafted a guy in the first round. They had Jimmy Garoppolo. Both of those didn't work. The last guy in the draft turned out to be the guy who can fit that system. It's a very unique system that not a lot of QBs can play well in, right? So you have a guy who can play well in that system.
But you just 2 minutes ago said Tua can.
Because he can. They had a positive record when Tua was playing quarterback.
Congrats, dude. The Broncos had a positive record.
I know,
Were they in the playoffs?
It is
no.
But what it has been shown that not every quarterback, not every guy with arm talent, not every guy who can just read a defense can play in that sort of system that Mike McDaniels and Kyle Shanahan runs. It takes a very specific sort of guy. And you have a guy who's been able to get a positive record with that guy. With that system.
Just admit to me that the Dolphins are not trying to win a Super Bowl.
I can't because they're not trying to rebuild.
But that doesn't mean they're trying to win a Super Bowl.
I doubt they would sit there and be like, let's just tread water with the best
Why?
wide.
They're
Because
making money. This is about money.
they have all the guys there. I don't understand the point, because it's like they're not trying to rebuild, but they're just going to tread water and win money. But if you have the guys and you believe in the guys, why not? Even if it's far fetched and you don't believe in it, why can't they believe in it with their guys currently?
Because Tua has shown multiple times that he's not capable of holding it together down the stretch to win a Super Bowl. Because, and why I say that is, in order to do that, you need to win games late in the year so you have the number 1 seed. And Tua is incapable of doing that because you run into the cold games. And Tua is not capable of winning football games in the cold, whether it's Chiefs cold or it's New York cold. He's just not capable.
But there's no other option right here, right now. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying they're stuck here, and that to have a 2% chance at winning the Super Bowl, they have to stick with them.
Okay, I'll meet you in the middle. Franchise tag him. Because then it's 1 year.
That's actually a fucking smart point.
Because then it's 1 year.
Yeah, they should have franchise tagged him, because
I don't get why they gave him the extension.
Yeah, we thought Tyreek was going to be out this year. He's still going.
So you give him 1 more year, and then if he retires, you're not stuck with Tua for the next 4 years without a Tyreek.
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea. They should have franchise tagged Tua.
I don't get why they didn't make him prove it this year.
Did they franchise tag someone else?
I don't think so. Like, just franchise tag him and make him prove it. Make him prove down the stretch, because it's a contract year. It effectively becomes a 1-year contract year, to where down the stretch you have to perform in order to get your contract, and then we'll pay you.
Yeah, that's the idea.
In this instance, a franchise tag is useful because it actually is. You're proving something. That's what the franchise tag is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a last chance to prove something to then get paid.
Yeah, unlike Brandon Ayuk, he's shown enough. He deserves to get paid.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. They 100%. We were just talking shit on franchise tags. When it comes to Tua's situation, even Trevor Lawrence's situation, I would be down for a franchise tag for both.
Yeah. I
think it should be only QBs get a franchise tag.
I was just about to say that. Quarterbacks should be the only position which a franchise tag is used, because otherwise you're just wasting their career. For skill positions outside of quarterback and edge pieces, whatever, defensive pieces, they have a finite amount of time that they are productive. Yeah. And if you're franchise tagging them and getting them stuck, is Brandon Ayuk in a bad situation in San Francisco? No. Is he wasting his career away? No. But if he wants to go, he should be able to go.
100%. I love that.
When it comes to the quarterbacks, you look at like a guy like the Giants franchise tagged Daniel Jones how many times? Like, and then they finally paid the guy a ridiculous amount of money. Like, I don't get it, man. I would even take Geno Smith in this situation.
I think it's more
Sam Howell, bro.
It's based off of just like you. It's based off of systems. You have guys that are proven to show promise in systems, and then it's more beneficial if you keep them than going with a new guy who has to learn your system.
But if Tyreek's going to retire and you're afraid of doing the rebuild 1 year early, then why are we giving Tua this kind of money?
Yeah, I agree that I actually brought up that point, that why haven't there been any rumors about Tyreek getting traded? Because he is on his way out, is what the rumors have been. He's on his way out. So why wouldn't they try and trade him, try and get some pieces there? But yeah. That franchise tag point, I love that. Love that.
I think for Tua, it's directly applicable. So what do you think? Am I off base? Should the Dolphins have made Tua prove it by franchise tagging him and evading possibly a massive contract that could put them in a even bigger hole going forward? And what do we think of the Bills also? Because they're a part of this video too. Go ahead and leave your take down in the comments. If it's good enough, it'll be a part of next week's show. While you're down there, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't. We're on the quest to 1,000 subscribers, and we want you to be a part of it. So I'm Devin. The other guy was Zane, and this is Buffet Sports. It's all you can eat. Ciao, guys.